This presentation will define political science and highlight some of the themes explored in this social science. What is political science? While it is not a science in which one conducts experiments in a lab, in the case of politics, the art of science of government or administrating states or units, the world is its lab. Some of the themes studied in political science involve governments, the history of governments, legal systems, political communication, international relations, urban policy, human rights, and comparative politics. These branches explore economics, norms, legal principles, and leadership that sustain or disrupt societies. Governments provide a leadership structure that guides and promotes an organized society. As part of this structure are rules that are established and enforced with the objective of maintaining order and protecting citizens. There are several types of governments. Constitutional style governments have structures in place to provide checks and balances on what they can do. Authoritarian governments have minimal to no limits on the extent of authority they possess. And lastly, a totalitarian governing style has no restrictions on its power. The word democracy derives from the Greek word demokratia, or government by the people. Demos means common people, kratos means rule. So it's a term that comes up when discussing forms of government in which power is vested in its people or their agents. The electoral system refers to voting representation by select members of government that act on behalf of their constituencies. An interesting note about democracy is that while majority rules in a democratic society, the individual rights of the minority are still protected. An example of a democratic government is the U.S., which has three branches. The legislative branch is bicameral. It has two chambers that complete it, the House and the Senate. Members of the House and the Senate pass federal laws, regulate interstate commerce, and control federal appropriations. The President is at the helm of the executive branch. Among its responsibilities, this office appoints justices of the Supreme Court and federal judges, makes foreign treaties and can grant federal pardons, and is the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. Lastly is the judicial branch, where the Supreme Court sits atop, review lower courts' decisions, and rules on whether laws are constitutional or not. This separation of power illustrates a system of checks and balances that underpins democracy in the United States, and one that has served as an example to other societies seeking to emulate similar principles.